All right, let's talk about AI. It feels like it's absolutely everywhere, right? And it's changing things so fast, it's hard to keep up. But now, the rules are finally starting to catch up. The European Union has rolled out its new AI Act, and this is a big deal. It's the world's first comprehensive law for artificial intelligence. You can see the title right here in Hungarian. The whole idea is to make sure AI is safe, that it's fair, and that it actually helps people. So, what's inside this thing? And more importantly, what does it mean for you? Let's get into it.
Okay, so to make this easy to digest, we're going to break it down like a pyramid based on risk. We'll start at the very top with the stuff that's totally banned. Then we'll move down to high-risk AI, which is heavily regulated. After that, we'll look at the everyday AI we all interact with and the new rules around transparency. And we'll wrap up by looking at what this all means for your future and your rights. So, let's kick things off with the big picture. The EU's new AI Act. At its heart, this whole law is trying to answer a massive question. How do we make sure this incredibly powerful technology is heading in a direction that's good for all of us? And you'll notice we've got the key Hungarian terms right here on the slides. That's just to help tie everything back to the original law. And this quote from the Act itself, it really says it all. The goal is for AI to be a human-centric technology. What does that actually mean? Well, it means this isn't just about building cool tech. It's about making sure that tech serves people, that it increases our well-being, and that it protects our fundamental rights, things like freedom and dignity. It's all about finding that sweet spot between innovating like crazy and still holding on to our values. Basically, making AI work for us and not the other way around.
All right, let's climb to the top of that risk pyramid. This is where we talk about what's completely forbidden. The EU has drawn some serious red lines here, banning AI systems they feel are just too dangerous for our rights and our society.
First on the forbidden list, social scoring by governments. Yeah, you heard that right. That Black Mirror episode where your social behavior gives you a score that controls your life? The EU said, nope, not here. This is a flat-out ban to prevent that kind of mass surveillance and control from ever becoming a reality.
Next up, the law bans any AI that's designed to prey on people's vulnerabilities. So a company can't use AI to exploit your age or a disability or maybe a tough financial situation just to trick you into doing something harmful. It's basically a digital shield for the most vulnerable people in our society. Now this is a huge deal for privacy. The law now makes it illegal to just scrape the internet or CCTV footage for facial images to build or expand facial recognition databases. Think about that. It puts a stop to companies or governments creating these giant, unauthorized digital photo albums of all of us. And this one really protects our inner world. It's now forbidden to use AI for emotion recognition in workplaces and schools. So your boss can't have a system analyzing if you look stressed or disengaged during a meeting, and a school can't use it on students. Your private feelings are just that, private. They're officially off limits for an algorithm to judge.
Okay, let's move down one level on our pyramid to what the law calls high-risk AI systems. Now, these aren't banned outright, but because they have the potential to seriously impact our lives, they're going to be very, very strictly regulated. Think of it as allowed, but with a lot of strings attached.
So what exactly is a high-risk system? Well, it's pretty much what it sounds like. It's any AI that has a significant chance of harming someone's health, their safety, or their fundamental rights. We're talking about the kinds of algorithms that could make or influence huge, life-changing decisions about you.
And this is where it really hits home for a lot of us. For example, an AI that filters CVs for a job application, that's high risk. An AI that decides if you get approved for a loan, high risk. Even systems used in law enforcement to evaluate evidence or at the border to assess travelers, all of these now fall into this high-risk category. And what that means is they have to meet super strict standards for accuracy, for fairness, and, this is key, they must have meaningful human oversight before they can be used.
So, if one of these high-risk systems messes up, who's responsible? The law is pretty clear on this. It sets up a chain of responsibility. First, you've got the provider, or Fejlesztő, as you see in Hungarian. That's the company that actually builds the AI system.
They have to ensure it's safe and compliant. Then you have the deployer, the felhasnoro, which is the bank or the hospital or whoever uses the AI. They're responsible for using it as intended and making sure there's always a human in the loop. It's like one company builds the car and another company operates the taxi service. Both have a role to play in keeping things safe. Okay, let's head down to the base of our pyramid. This is where we find the AI we interact with all the time. Everyday AI. We're talking about chatbots, AI image generators, things like that. The law isn't trying to ban these, but it is demanding one really important thing: transparency. And it's all about tackling this question that we're all starting to ask ourselves constantly. Is what I'm looking at real? Was this picture generated? Am I talking to a person right now, or am I talking to a bot? The AI Act is trying to give us clear answers so we're not left guessing. So how does it do that? With a few new transparency rules. It's pretty straightforward. First, you have to be informed if you're interacting with an AI system. No more secret chatbots. Second, content that's generated by AI, whether it's an image, a video, or text, has to be labeled. And third, deepfakes have to be clearly disclosed for what they are. The whole point is to take the guesswork out of it and put you back in control.
And these rules don't just apply to the apps you use. They go all the way back to the source, to the huge, powerful models that are the brains behind tools like ChatGPT. They have their own set of obligations now. They have to respect copyright law, they have to publish summaries of the data they were trained on, and they have to keep detailed technical documents. It's really a first big step in making the creators of these foundational models accountable.
So let's bring this all together. What does all of this, the bans, the regulations, the transparency rules, what does it actually mean for you and the future of AI? Well, it means you now have a new set of legally protected rights.
So, what are your rights under this new law? Well, first, you have the right to get an explanation when a high-risk AI system makes a decision about you. If you think an AI system is being unfair, you have the right to complain to a national authority. You're also now legally protected from discrimination by a biased algorithm. And, like we said, you always have the right to know when you're interacting with AI. This isn't just some abstract law for big tech companies. It's designed to give you, the citizen, real, tangible power.
And all of this brings us to the big final question. The EU is making a huge bet here. A bet that by regulating AI, they can create a future that's safer and more trustworthy. But will it work? Does regulating AI guarantee our safety, or does it just put the brakes on innovation? This is probably the defining debate of our time, and now you're a much bigger part of it. Thanks for tuning in.